took 2 weeks for the reality to just be staring everyone in the face, despite all the signs and the writing on the wall, that there is no scenario under which the Houston Texans would start Deshaun Watson this year. 0.0, full Blutarski on that front. As Tyrod Taylor, God bless him, I mean, what a awful set of circumstances always seems to befall this man when he has opportunities. Looks like a hamstring injury is going to keep him out for the foreseeable future. And I know they got this kid Davis Mills that they drafted, but here's a team that kind of looks really stout in certain areas when we thought they would just be completely barren of talent and competition. Do you think there's anybody there saying, why not Deshaun Watson? Why not Deshaun Watson?
You know, Rich, one thing that I've learned, and it only took me 20 years to figure this out, when I speak very candidly about issues with a given team, fans get upset. Fans of that team get upset.
Yes.
In large part because they don't like someone saying out loud the thing that they are privately concerned about. But I view myself as kind of an advocate of whatever fan base I'm happening to comment on their team at that given time. And if I'm a Texans fan, I'm wondering, what in the hell are we doing? We're paying this guy $10.5 million. How does it get to this point that he's not playing for us? Why aren't you telling him you're under contract? You're playing for us.
Right.
And I understand that they don't want to risk him getting injured and infringe and impair their ability to get maximum picks either now or after the season. I get all that. And, hey, there's a chance the NFL will say, hold on, no, we don't have to make a decision about whether or not to put him on paid leave as long as you're paying him to not play. But if you're going to play him, then we got to do something. That's part of it, too. But I think it just comes down to he wants out. They're willing to let him go. They don't want him to play. They don't want him to get injured, and he's just off the table. And if I was a Texans fan who was paying good money for tickets to those games or spending my time that I could otherwise spend doing other things, watching those games and giving a crap about that team, I would be livid that it got to this point. Regardless of who's to blame now, the fact that it got to this point is a tragedy for the Houston Texans, and it's made evident by the fact that they're going from Tyrod Taylor to Davis Mills or Mills Davis. I think it's Davis Mills. There are so many quarterbacks in the NFL at the backup level where you can change first name, last name. I think we've done this bit before, but it's true. Mills Davis starting Thursday night.
Well, and it's possible that Driscoll Jeff gets in, because and that's the question. Like, so do you think Watson would say no? Like, if they went to him and said, look, we know what's going on here. It is such an odd situation, awkward, whatever adjective you want to use, unprecedented, that somebody as generationally talented as Watson is also at the same time untradeable and potentially unplayable. Like, this is a Rubik's Cube that we've never seen before, Mike. But
you're right.
Like, what about going to him and saying, I know you don't want to play for us anymore, and we kind of don't want to play you, but do you see what we did to the Jaguars in week 1? Do you see what we kind of are cooking here? Like, get on board, right?
And the way the dominoes fall if they do something like that, it gets ugly very quickly. But they could, if they want to be distracted by it. And we talk about distractions all the time. Some are real, some are fake. This would be real. If all of a sudden they decide they're going to go to Deshaun and say, we want you to show up and practice, and we want you to really try. We don't want you to half-ass it. We want you to show up and earn the money that we're paying you. And then they're watching him. They're studying him. Is he working hard enough? Is he doing everything that he needs to do? Is he really trying? It's easy if he says no, then you can fine him, suspend him for conduct detrimental to the team. That's easy. The hard part is identifying whether or not he's just going through the motions. And that's the thing with a quarterback. And this may be why they're doing what they're doing. For all the other positions, you can draw a hard line and say, hey, get your butt to work. But for a quarterback, you need him to be so much more than just the guy that takes the snap and hands off the ball and throws the passes. He's the guy who's the leader of the team, sets the tone, shows up early, stays late, holds people accountable, brings the locker room together. And that's why I'm a firm believer that quarterbacks need to have more of a voice in the overall structure of the team than they get, because they're expected to act like bosses on the shop floor. And if you have a quarterback who's committed to doing the bare minimum, I don't think that's good for anybody. And that may be why, combined with we don't want him to get injured, and we don't want to have the NFL say he's on paid leave, and whatever other concern they have, I think that's why they aren't going to him and saying, time for you to earn your money. But if I'm a Texans fan, good luck getting my money if you're willing to give $10.5 million of it away to one of the best quarterbacks in football, that you allowed this to get to the point where he doesn't want to play for you and you don't want him to play for you, regardless of how we got here. This had its origins in the dysfunction that was pervasive in the Texans organization. Credit to them to get veteran players who are kind of wiping that stink away, but it was that stink from last year that has them in the mess they're in now.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.